In August 2022, the marketing world hit a wall. Hiring slowed, layoffs swept the industry, and suddenly the playbook that worked for years no longer delivered results. And at the same time, a new fear emerged. Would AI replace marketing jobs altogether? My guest today had a front row seat to it all. Deborah Kurtz, the founder of Magenta Search, a recruiter who specializes in placing marketing, product, and sales leaders in some of the most innovative startups in the country. In this episode, Deborah and I dive into what really happened to marketing during the last 3 years, how AI is changing the game, and why authenticity and brand matter more than ever.
1 nerd, 2 nerds, 3 nerds, 4 marketing nerds do so much more. Over hill and high where the nerd buggies go. Come along and bring you the Marketing Nerd Show. La 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 la.
Oh, wow. We're getting serious on this edition of the Marketing Nerds podcast. Welcome aboard. This is where we dig into the real stories, strategies, and shifts shaping the world of marketing today. My name is Brian, and I am your host. I was at Startup Boston this week, and it was absolutely amazing. Leaders, innovators, practitioners unpacked what is really working. And I got a chance to speak with a few of them in this ever-changing marketing landscape. Now, this conversation on this podcast is pretty serious because we're talking about how hiring in marketing has changed over the last 5 years and why so many traditional tactics are losing their punch and what skills and strategies marketers need to thrive in this AI era. And trust me, the guest on today's podcast knows what she is talking about. So let's jump right in.
A lot of the work that I do is with smaller companies, with companies 100 million and under in revenue. A lot of companies that may not have product market fit yet. Series A, B, Cs. I do a lot of B2B SaaS. I also do a lot of consumer brands, and there are two categories for that I can speak really passionately. One is marketing and what's going on with it, and
no,
the
you're
other
just
is
saying that because you're on the Marketing Nerds podcast.
No,
okay.
It's what
all
I
right,
do.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it.
I spent the first 12 years of my career in media and advertising. So before I moved into
So you know
recruitment.
how it is. Okay, cool. From 2012 to 2020, marketing felt unstoppable. The economy was booming, companies were hiring, and digital marketing channels were delivering. But then the pandemic hit, and everything changed.
E-com boomed. It's so interesting. E-com businesses, not just B2C, but things such as 3D businesses, 3D that made shopping interactive, went from being in 2020 and 21 from being like, it's a nice to have. I don't know. Do my customers really need to pick up and turn over a night table if they're going to buy it? And it turned into, oh my God, we can't get people into stores. So yes, like something like 3D e-com tools boomed, and the hiring boomed around it. We also had I'm not an economist, but we had a flood of money into the market for various factors. And so what do you do when companies get money? They hire. And then we had a correction.
The correction wasn't just financial. Marketing tactics that had worked for years stopped delivering. Cold calls weren't answered. Inboxes flooded. Suddenly, the very foundation of marketing felt shaky.
I mean, nobody answers the phone. I'm not going to start a debate over if cold calling is dead. That's very polarizing. But just by nature of what the phones do, you see spam, and they don't answer it. So now email marketing becomes more important. Well, guess what happens when there's too much email marketing? You just unsubscribe. So marketers have been faced over the past couple of years with some new challenges that what was working, like email marketing was so important. Lifestyle marketing cycle marketing was so important. Oh my God, these things aren't having the impact.
And then came the headlines. Salesforce laying off thousands of employees, citing AI as the reason. Fear spread through the industry.
They made a statement saying that we have AI, so we don't need these 4,000 people. It's not great news for like the immediate time period. Like it's scary for every single one of us. But I think the story is bigger than that. With innovation comes different ways of doing things.
Deborah's perspective is bigger than just layoffs. She's seen this before. Computers, calculators, smartphones, each was once feared as the end of work. And each time, the world adapted.
The trends I've seen in marketing is that some of the tactics that were very powerful over the past 5 years, like life cycle marketing, email marketing, like I mentioned, have stopped being as effective.
Yeah.
This is not my brilliant prediction. I've read about this, so I can't take credit for it, but I think we are seeing a heavy shift back to brand. Humans are exhausted of the I've got a widget for you. I think authenticity is really important, and that's where brand comes in. What do you stand for? When you go to an event like this one and there's a booth and somebody says, "Oh, I know that name. Oh, I wonder what they do."
But Deborah isn't just watching trends. As a recruiter, she's living the reality of how companies hire. And the truth? Recruiters don't just need candidates. They need clients.
Is that everybody thinks we need candidates, but we actually need clients. And the clients are the companies who say, "Deb, I need you to hire me a VP of marketing and I'm going to pay you to do it."
Wow.
So people don't understand how recruiters work and how the industry of recruitment works. And it's a very common misconception that it's my job to get candidates. When I have a very tricky search, if somebody introduces a candidate to me who matches that search, that's really valuable to me. And yes, I talk to as many candidates or job seekers as I can in goodwill and to build my network and to put out good advice. But people always think like, "Oh, I know a ton of marketers. I'll introduce you." I'm like, "Oh my God.
Yeah, I need clients.
Yeah. Do you know companies who are hiring and having a tough time with it? That's what I need.
Yeah. And for marketers, the lesson is clear. There's no shortage of talent. The challenge is showing your value when demand slows. And that means specialization matters more than ever.
Think about what your top priorities are. If there is no shame in paying your bills, if you need to pay your bills, now does not have to be the time to get a dream job. If somebody takes a role that may not be perfect, but it gets them somewhere where they need to be
responsible.
The other aspect that I tell people is reverse engineer the job search process. People spend a lot of time thinking about what they want. Think about what could you bring to the table that you are the best of your competition. So, for example, if you've been marketing e-com luxury jewelry for the past 5 years, people will often say to me, like, "I hate luxury jewelry. I don't want to do that anymore." And I'll say, "I hear you. That is probably your lowest hanging fruit. So if you need to get back to work or you need a job, like, could we consider that? If the answer is no, you don't have the stomach to do that, then what's a tangential industry?" I talk about like bridge moves. Like if you want to move categories, industries, as well as jobs. So you're a project manager at a marketing agency and you want to get into healthcare. I hear it all the time, like, "I want to get into healthcare and I want to get out of project management." Okay, so now you have two things. You're in marketing and project management and you want to get into healthcare and out of project management.
Which is hard, yeah.
So let's choose one and use a bridge. Maybe we keep you in the same industry, but we get a different role for you.
Really? And what about AI? Is it a threat? Deborah says yes, but only if you build your career on work AI can easily do.
Here's my positioning. I think that AI is going to become an adopted tool in the tool belt, that you have to know how to use it. But if the job can be replaced by AI, it will be. But that's not really the career path. Meaning, let's look at the career path of a marketer. You might take your first job as a marketing coordinator, and it might be very execution based. Right. Maybe AI could take over. Let's take content marketing. We need you to be, we're going to give you the ideas and we need you to put the content together for it. Yes, AI might be able to do that now. But go upstream a little bit. Like, AI is not going to understand brand. AI is not going to understand competition. There are tactical things that AI that we used to pay people to do that AI will be able to do. Execution is the doing, and it's okay to, especially when you're young in your career, yes, you need to execute and know how to do that, but that's not really what people make big dollars for. You don't get paid big money to pump out like the paper. You get paid for the ideas, and those ideas ultimately are what makes a business unique, what makes a brand unique, what makes it so that your company can get a meeting with your big prospects.
Deborah's story is a reminder. Marketing isn't dead. Recruiting isn't dead. And AI isn't the enemy. The real danger is clinging to old playbooks in a world that's already moved on. The future belongs to us, marketers who adapt, who build bridges, and who never forget that at the end of the day, everything comes down to sales.
Event marketing has all of a sudden become like real buzzworthy. I mean, we're here today, event marketing, but people are exhausted of trying to break through the digital clutter. So we have this return to showing up to places, getting on planes, having the events. It's cyclical, and the pandemic really, it did some good things for the economy, and it did some good things for marketing, and it did some bad things. And I think we need to stop being fearful. Like, if I said in 2020 that in 2025 event marketing would be really critical, you'd probably be like, no, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Event marketing has come back to being critical because we know that face-to-face is valuable, the authenticity is valuable. And if you're at an event and your name means something, you're going to cut through that clutter better than if you send a million emails trying to build that brand.
That was Deborah Kurtz from Magenta Search. You can find her at magentasearch.com. Now, if this episode gave you perspective on the future of marketing and hiring, go ahead and share it with someone who needs to hear it today.